Hey guys, it's Anything TV here. Today I want to talk about manga. Specifically, which manga should get an anime adaptation. Now, this is going to be my top 3 choices for the anime adaptation. And listen, it may not be in agreement with your opinions, and it may not be the most popular series at the moment. I know there's other popular series like Mashle for one. That series I haven't read yet, so I can't put that on my list if I haven't read it yet. These are series that I've read, I've enjoyed, and I think would be a great anime if people gave it a shot. So first off, we're going to talk about one of my favorite manga out right now, maybe my favorite, and that's Kaiju number 8. Now, a quick little synopsis on Kaiju. Kaiju is basically a story about a man named Kafka. Now, this man used to be a part of a race cleanup for kaiju monsters. Now, kaiju monsters are basically these big monsters that are attacking Japan, and they have this main monster, and this main monster gives life to baby monsters. So that's basically what kaiju is. And there's a defense force which fight these monsters, and then there's the waste cleanup team which cleans up these monsters and dissects them and stuff. So Kafka is a part of this waste cleanup team. But originally, when he was a child, he was childhood friends with a girl named Mina. Now Mina she's the number one fighter against these kaiju. She's like the number one person on the defense force team. And she's super strong, super popular, super known, and he isn't. So he was friends with her as a child, and they made a promise to each other that they would fight alongside each other on the defense force. But obviously that didn't happen because Kafka is on the waste cleanup. And that's because every single time he tried to take the exam to become a defense force person, he kept failing. And then this story basically progresses on to be about how Kafka, while saving one of his friends, he ends up in the hospital, and a kaiju enters his mouth, right? He basically eats a kaiju. It's a small kaiju, not a big one, it's like a fly. And this transforms him into a kaiju himself, and he can transform back and forth into a kaiju and stuff like that. But he gets super powerful, and he wants to take the exam again. So that's the basics of that story. I believe this to be a fantastic anime. Number one is because the art is easy to adapt, and it doesn't have any distinct style about it. Now, I'm not saying the art is bad, because the art is fantastic, right? But it doesn't have any like weird type of style that's going to be hard to animate. And number two, the story is great so far. It only is about 22 chapters, I believe, but the story is great so far. So many character developments, so many different situations. I think we're probably on the second arc right now, and the mangaka is doing a fantastic job with this series. So yeah, this is my number one choice for an anime adaptation. I understand that anime adaptations don't come until after like chapter 50 or 60, something like that. So we won't be seeing an anime adaptation for like a couple years maybe. If this series even gets one. Now moving on to my number 2 choice for anime adaptation. This is gonna have to be the new series Undead Unluck, which is around 50 chapters right now, I believe. So an anime adaptation could be coming pretty soon. Now, this series is about negators, right? So a negator is someone who negates something about life, right? Whether that be your personal morals or the laws of the earth. So like, one person may negate gravity so that he can float, like he can fly through the sky. That's what a negator is. Or one person may negate moving so that he can just stop people from moving. Now, this series specifically focuses on a girl named Fuko Uzumi. Now, Fuko is a negator. She doesn't know that yet, though. Basically, her ability is anyone who touches her gets extremely unlucky, right? So let's say you hold her hand, then 5 seconds later you may get hit by a bus, right? And this may sound a little bit dramatic, but it does work really well for the story. And so basically the story starts off with her trying to kill herself because she says nobody will love her, blah blah blah. And then we see another negator. Now, he doesn't have a name, but Azumi names him Andy. That's the name she gives him. And he seems to negate life, because he's immortal, he's undead. He's not a zombie, but he can't die. That's basically what it is. So when he learns about Izumi, he figures this is the perfect chance for me to try to die. So that's basically his mission, is to try to die. And the two go on an adventure together, basically. That's basically the start and basics of the story that you need to know about it. It will be a fantastic anime because the art style is great, the story is great, and it reminds me a lot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, right? It's not because of the art style, it's not because of the way these characters talk, but it's because of the way the battles turn out. Because it's like mind tricks, you thought you had me here, but actually I'm way above you. And they just keep switching and switching. It's amazing, bro. If you read the first fight of this series, you would think that this is like a JoJo story, but it's not. And it has JoJo elements, great story, fantastically written. A lot of people would enjoy this anime if it came out. Hopefully they get a anime adaptation next year, or hopefully by the end of this year, because they're over 50 chapters, so it should be easy to adapt the anime. Now I'm going to move on to my last series I'm going to be talking about today. Now this series is kind of short, around 7 chapters right now, so I know an anime adaptation won't be coming for at least 2-3 years, right? But I'm just calling it out right now because the story is fantastic. Now this manga is called Sakamoto Days, and this manga is basically about a retired assassin who used to be like the #1 assassin in the game. He's kind of like a John Wick, right? He's a legend, and he retired. He's spending his life with his family. He owns a store. He just stays in the store all day. And someone's sent to kill him who respects him, but he's sent to kill him. And when he tries to kill him, homie just gets murdered. And Sakamoto chooses to save this guy from the dude who tried to hire him to kill him, because the dude was just going to kill him because he failed his mission. But he saved this guy, and he kind of took him under his wing. And that's the basic of this story. I don't want to tell you that much. It's kind of a gag manga. Actually, not kind of. It is a gag manga. It's like if you read Dragon Ball in its early stages, it had those type of comedic elements. So it's like that. Or if you read The Way of the House Husband, it's like that. But this manga would be a great adaptation because it is very funny. I'll say that. And the fights are great. Like this is low-key a spoiler, but this happens in the first chapter. There's one fight in which Sakamoto literally takes a cough drop and a rubber band and starts firing at the assassin who was trying to kill him, and it's like bullets, bro. This crap, if you get hit by it, you would have died, right? He throws the cough drop so precisely that he hit the bullet that was trying to be shot at him directly on. Like, that's how crazy the fights in this series are. So it has the comedic element, it has the fighting element. This would be a fantastic anime. I'm excited to see where this manga goes on. So I believe the #1 contender for an anime adaptation out of these 3 manga that I talked about is definitely Undead Unluck, because #1, that series is really popular right now. And #2 is over 50 chapters, so an anime adaptation is probably already it's already in the works probably. #2 is definitely Kaiju, because that series is popular as well, but right now it's only about halfway to getting an adaptation. It only has about 24 chapters, so that's going to be at least a year off, maybe 2. And Sakamoto, we probably won't see an adaptation for this for like years. Right, and we don't even know how long this series is gonna be. This series reminds me a lot of The Way of the House Husband. I have the first couple volumes of that, and they haven't made an anime adaptation of that series yet. But that's not Shonen Jump. Shonen Jump usually does get anime adaptations. But yeah, that's my top 3 for anime adaptations. I hope you guys agree. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you guys have any other series you think should get an anime adaptation, drop that in the comments. I know the series like Mashal, the series like Spy X Family, Build King, and other new series that people think should get an anime adaptation. So tell me about those. Drop those in the comments if you think they should get an adaptation. Drop what you think about the video. I changed up my mic, so hopefully it sounds better. And yeah, so deuces. Oh yeah, and also before I forget, please drop a subscription. And now, deuces.